he'll say, Mikel Arteta, that this was a game in which he could do that he was able to take the handbrake off, which clearly is not an expression he particularly likes. But, he'll say that he can do because he's coming here and he feels that they've got a chance and that maybe he can't do it against Manchester City or Liverpool. Is that right? Or can Arsenal now be a bit more attacking in their approach going forward?
And I think it was purely based on the midfield. It was picking Marino or Eze last week. I think a lot of the fans would like to see Eze start. He went with Marino today, and Marino ends up the important player when he gets you the equaliser. So it goes either way. And I think today, Eze shows that you can trust him in these big games. He showed if you play him in the midfield position where he's one of the three, he can get on the ball, he can make things happen. Certainly first half, he was the most creative influence on the game. He looked classy when he got it, made things happen. So I don't think there's a problem in that respect. But you can mix it up for certain games. But I felt that going the way they did against Liverpool, going the way they did against Man City both times, when you've got an Eze in there, I think it was right to utilise him and play in that central position. But you know what, he'll be delighted. But saying all of that, and yes, they deserved it. Like Les said, the goalkeeper has a massive influence on that. If he just takes a breath, goes down, buys a few seconds, they don't end up winning the game. And they were, in the end, they were creators of their own downfall.
Half their goals this season, Arsenal, half of their 12 goals have come from corners. Is that a problem? Or do you look at the overall stats from this game and think, do you know what, they're creating loads of chances from open play. They are having those opportunities. And if they rely on corners at times, then so what? It's a valid way to get results in games.
Yeah, they're having opportunities. They're making opportunities in the game. And I think this is why we're talking. When we look at this Arsenal team, you look, if they play on the front foot, you think they're going to create chances, they're going to score goals. But everyone's got set-piece coaches now. And that's for a reason. That's for a reason, because you're going to get free kicks, you're going to get corners, and you might need to do something a bit different to score a goal from one of these set pieces. So if it weren't that important, why would you have set piece coaches?
And that's the thing. It's been really important this year. I think Arne Slot talked about it yesterday and said that it's becoming more and more important. It's never had an impact in the game, but it's becoming increasingly important. And that's borne out by the numbers. 28% of the goals this season have been scored from set pieces, which is an increase
corners,
of 33%.
Not just that, throw-ins, you see what happens, and you see sides that you never believe will be taking long throw-ins. They're utilising it. If you've got a good long throw, it makes it so difficult to defend against. Brentford obviously get labelled a bit the most, but everyone else is doing it. You only got to look at the leagues this weekend. You looked at all the goals yesterday. Not all, got lots of goals yesterday. A lot of them come from throw-ins, but set pieces, you've got to be good in both boxes. Arsenal weren't so good at their own defence, obviously, when they get caught with a set piece, but they score the two vital goals from set pieces. It's the part of the game now. You can't deny it. But I do see a shift in the game. I see a lot more long passes now. I see teams that's going back to front a little bit quicker. If you've got a good centre forward that wants to run in behind with defences squeezing up so much, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you're a long ball team or that just means you're using your football intelligence to beat the other side. I think for so long the game has been playing out from the back. It's become easy to defend against. Now you look at Man City, how they're starting to improve, and not improve, but how they're starting to almost change and evolve to a certain extent by being more direct, by working teams. When you've got somebody that can kick it well, you use it.
As someone who was so effective, as Jamie said, in set pieces, one of the best headers of the ball in the game, from a defensive point of view, how difficult is it to defend? Is that one of the reasons why set pieces are being used so much by teams? Because it's really difficult, if you get them right, to defend against them.
And we saw a couple of them today. Yeah. If you when we talked about the short corners coming in, if you get your movement right and you get a run on the defender, it's very, very difficult for him to stop that run and for you to not get ahead on that ball. We looked at probably the last couple of seasons and thought headings going out the game. Not many people were scoring headed goals, and now all of a sudden they've realised that it's such an important part of the game and a massive tool to have in your armour if you can use it and you use it right. And we're seeing so many goals.
Les Ferdinand and Jamie Redknapp have recently lavished praise on Eberechi's following his standout performance against Newcastle, highlighting not only his technical brilliance but also his growing influence in high-stakes matches. Ferdinand, a seasoned figure in English football, commended Eze's composure and elegance on the ball, noting that few players exhibit such natural ability under pressure. Meanwhile, Redknapp, offering more tactical insight, emphasized Eze's creativity and vision, which allowed him to consistently disrupt Newcastle's defensive structure and link effectively with attacking players throughout the match. Both pundits agreed that Ease's ability to carry the ball through midfield and draw defenders out of position was central to Crystal Palace's attacking momentum, even in a game where chances were limited. Beyond the immediate context of the match, Redknapp delved into the broader conversation surrounding Ease's optimal role, particularly in the context of a potential move to a top-6 club like Arsenal. While Ease has often been deployed on the left flank, Redknapp argued that his natural flair, intelligence in tight spaces, and ability to dictate tempo make him far better suited to a central midfield role, ideally as a left-sided number 8 in a 4-3-3 system. Such a position would allow Ease to influence the game more directly, arriving late in the box and initiating transitions from deeper areas. However, with Arsenal already boasting a midfield trio featuring the likes of Odegaard and Rice, Ease would face stiff competition, meaning he would not only need to adapt tactically but also elevate his physicality and consistency to thrive at the highest level.